So Gamergate started with a woman named Kathy Sierra. Well, so I'm backing up the specific of Gamergate to actually how women started getting treated in tech. Kathy Sierra was one of the first writers in the tech space. She was actually a trainer for O'Reilly, and she was the one actually helping creating JavaScript at Sun, and then she figured out, excuse me, how to train people on it. Kathy actually got doxxed because on her blog, which was called Creating Passionate Users, that she said, you know, some of you guys are making comments that are just irrelevant and mean and unnecessary. It's bringing out the worst in us. And why not actually figure out how to moderate that more so we treat each other more civilly? And a group of young men basically said, nope, that's not free speech. And so we are allowed to hate as much as possible here. They sent her pictures, and I'm going to get graphic for a second, right? They sent her pictures with her daughter being raped, with her with the noose around her neck, and so on. I was at a conference called Web 2.0 waiting to see her do a keynote when she didn't show up. And Tim O'Reilly showed up on stage and said, well, there's a problem, so she's not coming. That was the start of this drama. And no one in the tech industry took any responsibility whatsoever, even though they had plenty of ways in which they could do better crowd control, could step in for Kathy, could step in for the rest of us. That has continued on to Gamergate, which is when a bunch of women were doing design for a gamer, for, you know, basically women can be gamers too, and creating really new, interesting things. And they got doxxed, and a series of really awful things happened to them. There's 5 of them that have been affected by this most brutally. Nothing, no role by Twitter, no role by Google, no role by anyone in the tech leadership. So you see the Google manifesto come out now last week. This is a product of their creation. They have never stepped in. We have 15 years of experience that says this is ridiculous, and yet because it didn't affect them, it affected women and people of color disproportionately. The leaders of tech had hands off the wheel. I was like, oh gosh, doesn't affect me, so I won't care. And I can honestly tell you, and I think most of us will be able to see this more clearly in 5 years. I think Twitter will point to the day they let hate continue with Gamergate to be the reason we killed the American democracy the way we knew it. And I believe Google will have a similar ricochet off of this Google manifesto issue that will, they couldn't hold a town hall meeting in their own company because Google, one of the largest, most profitable, most secure companies in the world, got a threat of doxing to bring down all of Google. All because they basically had a hands-off approach.